Oh, motherfucking baby. We are back. It's a live stream Wednesday. Wish you well all the way over here from Helsinki, Finland. Cold as fuck in the morning, as always. Doesn't matter, though, because we have each other. We can hold each other, and we can hold our hands in this very tumultuous season right here. Anyways, plenty to talk about today, not just with news around the market, but also following up on yesterday's short-term, medium-term time frame analysis, of which Bitcoin did hit the initiative for that target down to about 45,000 bucks that we spoke about on yesterday's video. That was met. Then we came back later on the late day wrap-up, said probably bounce here at about 51,000 bucks, and looks like overnight while sleeping, a little bit of that action going down. So with that said, I do want to follow up on that. Where do things come into today? And to address a few situations as well, we will get into that soon enough. But first things first, I do want to get into the Krown Chain application, which, by the way, can be found for free at app.krownchain.net. The link's in the description below as well. So take advantage of it, or, well, you don't have to if you don't want to as well. Anyways, we do see plenty of things here. So first and foremost, we do see that the Fear and Greed Index has come down significantly for the first time in maybe like a month now. We can actually look at the market data tab soon enough to chart that out, but that's coming down from about an extremely greedy read of about 94 to 95, of which we've seen about an average for the last really like month or so, now coming down to a 76. So still greedy, still optimistic within this market, and actually that does kind of make sense. But that does play into the narrative of what we're going to be talking about, especially with the underlying market dynamics that we're going to cover next, which is the open interest coming down even more from yesterday to today. So this is actually very well, I wouldn't say good here, because good is a judgment, and realistically analysis is always neutral. But if you are, I suppose, looking at this as potentially a reaccumulation phase, I'd say that this would certainly suggest the same things. We do see open interest coming down another $500 million from yesterday to today, while price action essentially holds the bottom side of the range. So we did see initial sell-off with that. But what you would expect to see here, if this was going to be like a generational reversal, meaning the macro picture is once again in jeopardy, we would expect to see open interest actually start to shoot up after that initial pop back off that first sell-off, meaning that people are actually adding on short positions and keeping them on, looking for directional trade. And well, at that point, we'd probably see about $45,000 break. So still very much relevant, of course. And into the market data tab we go now, as, oh, by the way, Bitcoin dominance actually kind of holding steady from yesterday to today. So I do think that it would be worthwhile to check out maybe the Bitcoin dominance chart today and maybe a few altcoin Bitcoin pairings. Anyways, okay, here is where it all is right now. These three charts say a lot. So this is obviously your price action chart right here, open interest chart right here, and funny rate chart right here. And we do see that the price action chart obviously coming down significantly. That was accompanied by, here's your open interest, again, not way above, but just above 9 billion, as we saw over the weekend. Now coming down, well, I mean, our biggest drop off in quite some time to about 7.5 billion. And while all that's going on, the funny rate has come down significantly as well. So with all of that in mind, I do still look at this as likely on the greater scale, of course, not to say that this is not relevant for the short and medium term timeframes, but very likely reaccumulation as we look at Bitcoin consolidate above 45,000 bucks. That's going to be a kind of theme within today's analysis, I suppose. Anyways, moving on to our other charts over here, I do want to check out, yes, our funny rate chart, and you can see that everyone's come down significantly below the threshold. It is no longer an issue anywhere that we do see. So once again, the funny rate actually was indicative of a major high being put in. The thing with that is, though, is that we didn't see any continuation or on an actual reversal confirmation. So essentially, we have seen what I would consider a bullish reset, again, in line with what we see on open interest, and again, as assuming that the $45,000 level does hold at least for now. Anyways, anything else that we do want to see? Yeah, the premium of futures over spot price action has actually dissipated significantly. That can also be used as a bit of a short-term topside indicator, but as you can see, it can also kind of remain in its more aggressive posturing for prolonged periods of time. So it's not like too documentable. Also wanted to point out the Fear and Greed Index over here. Yes, indeed, we have seen like one of the biggest drop-offs again since actually January. So not that far ago. We did have some quick V's out of that region. I believe that was in the $40,000 to $30,000 range, of which I would kind of put this of the same class. Anyways, with that in mind, is it time to get into the charts themselves? I think it is time to get into the charts themselves. So I do realize I missed a few super chats over here. I do apologize about that, but I'm on like a thread of consciousness right now, and fuck it, I'll read it, whatever. I love when you use the special dead mouse mix. You make that available to people in your program, sir. Actually, it's available to you freely right now, man. Just go on YouTube, type in dead mouse remake, let go. know, and you too will get copyright notices, which I'm certainly going to get right after the stream. But you know what? It's worth it, man. I'll give away all of my advertisement revenue as long as you just don't block the fucking video. I'm completely fine with that. Have all $200 or $100, whatever the fuck it is, of it, and I'm more than happy. Just let me use the fucking music. It's so good. It's so good. Hey, thanks for that, Mr. Kevin fucking one. nice name as well. Jesus Christ, man! Some of these names are great. I see Nimbo in the house as well. Got to spread the love to our lovely moderators, doing a phenomenal job, keeping everyone safe in Safu, of course. Anyways, into the charts we go. Let's see what we got right over here. I've changed around my color schemes a little bit, taking pride in my charts that I spend all fucking day looking at, which, for better or worse, I guess, is my life. Anyways, yes, the daily Trollinger band the daily Trollinger chart actually getting a lot of things right here, which is rather interesting. 20 simple still holding up price action as it is, and we can see a bit of a consolidation range between the 9 exponential moving average and the 20 simple right there, which is just your baseline on a generic Trollinger band. But as we do look into our other dynamics, we do see actually a bearish cross on the MACD. But I would argue that this is not actionable in and of itself. We do need to see an actual break of structure here. That's what a lot of people get wrong about MACD. They look at MACD as something as, oh, cross up, good, cross down, bad. No, if that worked, everyone would fucking do it. Everyone would set up like an algo doing that and we'd all be rich, and that's just not the case. The way to use this in this case, especially when you are in a strong trending market, is we want to see an actual break of structure here. And in this case, breaking structure would be below that $45,000 level as we highlighted yesterday. What's up, Joel Bear? The beautiful chart. Yes, we have very beautiful charts over here. Be very respectful to our charts and they will respect you back. Show me on the chart where the big bad bear touched you, sir, because he might be bringing some more red dildos soon if Bitcoin doesn't get picked up relatively soon. But I would actually check out also the ADX DMI in a more serious tone over here. All jokes aside, I do like this as a bit of a reset as well. But here's the thing. We did not see the daily actually give a bearish signal here. So with all of that ranging, or I wouldn't say range in action, but with all of that destruction that we saw over the past couple of days, where Bitcoin basically came down about $15,000 from 58 to more like $13,000, but basically same thing. We actually didn't even see a bearish signal being postured on top of that. So there are a couple of very obvious ways to be looking at this and judging if it is actually going to put in a real reversal where we can start to target moves down towards, 35, or sorry, not 35, maybe 35 over time, but 39,000 to 40,000 bucks. And that would be this. I need to see a break to 45,000 bucks. Obviously, I'd expect to see the MACD to continue to increase to the downside. In this case, you can see that these numbers are very much well laid out for you. By the way, you can get this indicator for free on TradingView from Caretaker. For the reverse function, or you can just get the default one as well, but fair enough. Anyways, ADX DMI, if that starts to fire off a bear signal as well, where the DMI minus gets dominant, and in this case, I want to see it get dominant above really like the 24.5 level, because we are in a trending market. So I'm really hesitant to take the bear signals based off this. So it really has to get well above, in this case, a more conservative estimate of about 24.5. And then yes, I would call that potentially even a macro reversal in progress, but at the very least, another 15 to 20% move to the downside, which is very much tradable in this market. Anyways, by the same token, if you are going to be bullish here, what do you expect to see? Well, you'd actually expect to see the DMI plus start to get picked back up above the threshold. In that case, we could use a 24 read because that is on the same side of the trend. And I do find that it's just better to be, if you are going to be aggressive on the same side of the, of the general trend. And in this case, that would be very much to the upside. So with that in mind, I think this chart is actually probably one of the easiest to reads right now. If you're bullish, you're looking at this as a likely higher low in progress and probably going to grind this area out for a bit. And that also means that, if you're bullish right here, I don't think, or at least I wouldn't be looking at this as likely to just fucking V bottom out of here. Oh, fuck, that's right. We should have talked about the Tether situation. All right, so should we address the Tether situation? Yeah, we should. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with the Tether situation, basically Tether and BitFINEX have kind of been in bed with each other since the dawn of time. And they have been speculated as not having backed those tethers, which are supposed to be pegged to the US dollar 1-to-1 with actual collateral. That was the accusation, which the New York Attorney General has been, I guess, having like open cases against them for the last like year or 2 years. I mean, we've been hearing about Tether for the last like three or 4 years now. I mean, it's nothing new, but actual legal issues arising from that in the more proximal past. Anyways. With that said, just as of yesterday, one of those cases was wrapped up with the New York Attorney General, where FINEX was fined and Tether was fined $18.5 million and basically told, hey, you can't do business here anymore, that being New York, which to my knowledge, and again, I don't trade on FINEX myself, so I can't verify this, but I would imagine, just looking at the general sphere, you can't fucking trade on FINEX anyways. Of course, that does matter for Tether, as that means that New York residents can also not deal in Tethers. So, there's probably gonna be more KYC required for that sort of a thing. But at the end of the day, I don't really see too many new things from this, and $18.5 million is very much a slap on the wrist for a company that is making billions in revenue, I'd imagine. So with all of that said, to me, that is kind of like giving them the green light to go operate other places, and they didn't really get much for what they did there. And I'd even say that, of course, with these sorts of situations, it's always easy to kind of hindsight analysis but I would say, obviously you can come up with both a bullish and bearish explanation for it. But with that said, this is, in a more general sense, not trying to put my subjective opinion on it, but in a general sense, this situation is more or less well, it's a lot. It's a lot of things, to be fair. It's like trying to boil it down to one point is difficult, but it does follow the general rule of how events go. And in trading and investing and all that good stuff, events, this is more of a function of actually human psychology than anything else. But events are a psychological expectation, right? So you have an expectation going into the event. That's what you're measuring against. And in this case right here, the expectation was Tether was fraudulent. They were actually found to be fraudulent. They were not backing their dollars one-to-one. And then, but the expectation for that would have been like, okay, let's fucking destroy them. Let's get rid of Tether. Let's get rid of FINEX. Big lawsuits. We're going to be doing arrests, criminal type of shit. None of that happened. None of that happened at all. So the expectation, I do not believe, was met in this case. And it's kind of like a similar situation as buy the rumor, sell the news. Well, if you were playing into this, you were selling, you're likely selling if you're listening to people like BitFINEX and all the other Tether people on Twitter, which, to be fair, they were right. They were very much right. But the result of it, very much not in line with what I think a lot of people were looking at. This is not really the rug pull situation that I think many, including myself, believe that Tether could actually have an impact on the market, which it certainly could. It has potential for that, but we didn't see that. So to me, that's actually, I would even argue that that's one less variable now to be dealing with, and less variables means more certainty, and more certainty, typically markets do like that. So without all of that in mind, I actually do with that event, after thinking about it a little bit more and kind of consulting with some of my friends who I think have really good heads on their shoulders, I don't think it's as big of a deal as what it probably first seemed to be. Now, typically when those sorts of situations happen, myself, I pull out of the market. I just want to observe, just want to see, just because I'm a pretty risk averse, kind of conservative type minded trader. For some people that's right, for some people that's wrong. Of course, also lose out on a bit of opportunity there as well, but I'm happy to trade that off for more certainty. Anyways, in a market like this, I'd imagine a lot of people are thinking relatively similarly as well. So I do think that that's actually in a long-term sense a good thing. Personally speaking, I do think that Tether, is kind of is certainly getting a slap on the wrist, obviously, but the general idea is probably we're going to phase Tether out in exchange for one of the more regulated coins. Again, I'm not giving an opinion on whether I think that's good or bad, but I think that's where things are going based off of that. And we're probably going to see like USDC or like the Binance coin or whatever the fuck, these more regulated ones start to take center stage, as there's going to be a lot less uncertainty around those as they're playing by the rules, so to speak. Anyways, they can't fail now. If Tether fails, crypto will definitely hurt for a minute. Well, the thing is that the litigators are kind of in a catch-22, and this was actually brought up by a member yesterday, and he made a really, really good point. Shout out to Sovander if he's listening right now. But they're in a catch-22. The purpose of that sort of a lawsuit is to protect investors, right? But quite literally, it is to protect people, or so they say. Again, I'm not giving an opinion on that, but think about it this way. If they were to actually just completely go after Tether and destroy it, well, are they going to be protecting investors or are they going to be destroying investors? They're going to fucking destroy the market, because Tether actually does have that hold. It is humongous humongous backbone within this market still to this date. So I do think that gets phased out, but that also kind of plays into the whole narrative that it seems to me like it's kind of being accepted in a way. Anyways, hey, what's up, Ophir? Appreciate that, man. Yeah, we'll look at that a little bit later. I want to get through Bitcoin first here, and then we'll get to and then maybe we'll do some requests. But I really don't want to focus that too much on these streams. I hope that you understand. I hope that that's not taken negatively, but I do want to get through the Bitcoin first. Anyways, with that said, okay, so Bitcoin on our secondary charts right here. We pretty much got the daily. Let's see what the 2 days looking like right now. I think we do have this one closing today, or no? No, we do not. Actually, it just closed yesterday. And again, holding on to the 9 exponential moving average. I mean, we do see a range here, obviously, but I don't look at this as problematic just yet. We even see that the ADX DMI is just having a bit of a reset here too. So I would still be looking at this as more or less neutral in the higher term timeframes, neutral to consolidation. Looking at the daily, 2 day, 3 day, and of course the weekly as well, which remember is trending above the top side control band on both spot and CME price action. Of course, we're dealing with humongous ranges here, as we said earlier this week. Bitcoin come all the way down to 45,000, and then it did, and still not really rock the overall long-term trend. So that's kind of the case that I am creating right now. Again, if you are a low-term time frame trader, though, does that matter to you? Fuck no, it doesn't, because a $10,000 dildo in your face is always going to be a $10,000 dildo in your face, and shish kebabbing yourself through Angus and mouthhole is not good. So with that said, we'll go to the lower term time frames over here, and we can create a few ranges right now, of which I'd pretty much be having the same ranges as what we looked at yesterday on the late day wrap up. That would be about 51,000 bucks to the upside versus 45 to the downside. Again, a humongous range, about $6,000 right there. But they have different implications, and we can cut it to the middle essentially and kind of create a short-term time frame range, which I'd actually move up a little bit more to here. There we go. And so with that in mind, this would account for the medium-term time frame range as it is. However, a break below 45,000 bucks still has the same sort of very dastardly interpretation as what we're looking at throughout this week, and that would still imply continuation down to the $39,000 to $40,000 levels, right around I guess it would be right around here. And with that in mind, while I do think that that's possible, I'm actually still not necessarily looking for that, but that would be my criteria for confirming that move. Needs to close below this region right here on a 4 hour. That'd be 44,400 on a 4 hour. If I'm using a daily, I would actually move that level up to about 45,000 bucks. Yeah, this low right here, I'd move it up right there. So different time frames can be used for this one, but different numbers would also be applied here too. If one of those two things happens though, of course a higher term time frame is going to be a little bit better. Then I would be looking for further further price action down to about 39,000 bucks. Very likely a bounce there, and then come back to it after that. But for right now, as long as this area does hold, I do look at this as likely a reaccumulation phase. As a lower term time frames kind of unfuck themselves, if you will. Anyways, bringing up our momentum oscillators over here. I've actually switched back to regular Stokes, mostly because I'm just better with it. I'm just better with these ones right here. And what do we have right here? We actually do have a nice trend line on the 4 hour that is being tested right now. And with that in mind, that is coming alongside Bitcoin testing the top side of this range. So I do like that. Alongside, we do see that 4 hour RSI is doing what? Actually, there is no divergences. There is no divergences here, to be fair. I mean, we had a little bit of bullish divergence coming off this low right here. Technically not textbook, but I do see those play out quite often. The easy part of that move's already played out to the 21. I'd probably be looking for Bitcoin to pop back down here initially. Going through the lower term timeframes, we do see that 4 hours popping up right now, 3 hours doing the same thing, although price action is a bit of a rejection right now. We do have, do we have? No, we do not have any divergences here either, but it should be noted that HVP on both the 3 hour and 4 hour is redlined as fuck. And when I typically see this, get above the 90 read, I'm looking for that to go into a sideways consolidation. And again, a sideways consolidation within the context of our current range for the medium term time frames would be a 51 to the upside and 45 to the downside, cut right here at about 48. We could call it like 48,000 bucks. Anyways, 3 hours pretty much in agreement with that, so I do like that. Buy hourly is pretty much the same thing as well. And but is the buy hourly showing any divergences here? Yes, potentially. So yeah, I do think that short term, very likely another slight downside move here, as it does kind of sell off the top side of the medium term time frame range. However, how low do we get? Probably back down to 48,000 bucks or 48 to 49,000 bucks right here. But that does not imply obviously a full on breakdown continuation. So again, anything here, anything within this region right here, I do look at as essentially reaccumulation over a longer period of time. But time being the critical variable there. For the short-term timeframes, these are still thousands of dollars worth of moves, so I do think that it is relevant to discuss. And we do see that momentum oscillator is actually all pointed kind of north right now. So the way that I read this, when we have bifurcation between even the lower-term timeframes like the 1, 2, 3, and 4 hour, between especially Stokes and RSI, which are painting a slightly different picture right now. is I'd be looking for essentially the range to continue. So in this case, we just tested the top side of the range. It's similar to yesterday, right? We tested the bottom side of the range. We said, okay, likely to bounce now. Well, now we're testing the top side of the range, probably likely to dump back down. We're having some of those bullish dumps again, huh? But overall, the range, as long as it holds, fine, fine by me, because I get to decide, right? no, it's just, structurally speaking, it's fine. Anyways, buy hourly, yes, okay, we spoke about that. Yes, hidden bearish divergence is kind of building up right here. So any sort of a confirmed local high, and yes, I would be looking for a move back down to about 48,000 bucks or 48,500-ish region, and that will be available as long as we are below this high right here, which is several thousands bucks higher at about 54,000 bucks. So that would be the next big one right there, obviously. And for right now, yes, short term, it would be showing a little bit of hidden bearish divergence. So it probably does range a little bit longer. And I imagine we're going to see the same thing on the hourly here as well. And what do you know? We do. This one making a significantly higher high on RSI with price action looking like it wants to make a little bit of a lower high. This one, again, not necessarily fully confirmed. And we do have a death cross, so it's going to zero, but probably not. But again, if this does confirm a local high on the hourly, which would be confirmed with any sort of a closure below about 50,000 bucks, yeah, again, I'd be looking for a move back down anywhere between about 48 and 48,500-ish region. Extremely likely, and obviously we do see that momentum also is about to turn down on the hourly here too. So bifurcation in lower term timeframes, more or less ranging price action. I'd be looking for HVP to start to curtail itself as well, come down quite significantly, and then there we go. Caretaker's actually now showing the potential hidden bearish divergence. Nice one. Oh baby, it's nice. It's like I've been using Caretaker's indicators too long now. It's like I'm almost losing my own ability to do it without them. Maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. Anyways, he interpreted a death cross. Oh, the death cross is actually already there, but that's an hourly, man. In all seriousness, sorry if I'm not being clear, that is a joke. I don't think it's going to zero. Maybe a little bit of short-term downside pressure, but death crosses and golden crosses on any time frame below 4 hour, I do not give any fucks about on cryptocurrencies, especially in traditional land. An hourly can be used. Yes, I kind of look at like an hourly on traditional land is similar to a 4 hour on crypto, but that's like the bare minimum, really. Anyways, so yes, lower term time frames, more or less sideways here is what it looks like. Of course, if I'm going off the ranges, I would be looking at 51. Yeah, we could use either 51 in some odd change. Let's say about 51,200-ish region as a bit of a pivot here. If that area is taken out to the upside, would I look for Bitcoin to rally back up to 53 or 54? Likely yes, but I don't think that's what's happening right here. I think it spends a little more time accumulating within this region right here, and assuming no breakages below 45,000 bucks, that would be just one more major opportunity. Again, I have to kind of come back on over here and reflect on the higher term timeframes, of which they are all in kind of trending action as it stands, with a few more days left in the trading week to go for CME, that is. So into the medium term timeframes we go, and let's see what they're saying as it is right now. And what do you know? Oh, this is actually very, 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 very beautiful right now on the 12-hour Stokes. 12-hour Stokes are coming down to test the edge of the bullish control zone. What we would expect to see here, if this is going to be yet again another opportunity, is we'd expect to see this actually start to pop back up and catch onto the edge of the bullish control zone. A lot of algos and bots kind of just play into that one. By their programming. And in this case right here, you can see that this is, well, quite literally a higher low potentially in progress. You also see it, and again, just fucking gimping myself by using Caretaker's fucking cheat codes. But we do see that, it is suggesting that we do have a local low in progress here as well. And if this is confirmed as a local low, it will be confirmed also as hidden bullish divergence on the other side. So as we do kind of compare the short-term timeframes and the medium-term timeframes, what does that align with? Again, a little bit more sideways on the short-term timeframes, but medium and higher-term timeframes still very much in bullish posturings. So looking at this right here, again, it's technically not confirmed just yet. Would confirm this as a local low. I'd say any sort of a closure, especially above the 21, which would be that $51,000 region. And if that does get signaled off, I would look for a move back up to about 54,000 bucks. Wherever the 10 simple is going to be your high quality area. Now, if that move then produces another twist back up on your 12-hour Stokes, then I would be looking for that to very likely try for the all-time high once again, and when we could judge a continuation phase off that. Personally speaking, I don't think that's what happens. I think Bitcoin spends a little bit of time going sideways here, shaking everyone out, making everyone kind of sweat a little bit, while putting in yet again another higher low and continuing onwards and upwards. Looking at the daily, I imagine we have somewhat similar building. Yes, indeed we do. There is potential hidden bullish divergence here as well, but obviously it's going to take a little bit longer than the 12-hour to confirm, being that it is 2x the time frame. In this case, what would be needed to confirm this as a local low? It's not going to be happening today. I'll put it that way. would be at the earliest happening tomorrow night. But obviously the 12 hour is going to play into that. So that's why I'd look at that as, you know, a bit of a leading indication as to whether this is going to do it or not. But what we expect to see is some sort of a closure above the 21 exponential moving average today, if that would be a possibility coming into tomorrow to confirm this is a local low. And then we'd want to see tomorrow close. Personally speaking, I want to see it close above the, above the open of today's daily doodle, or sorry, not the open, but the close of today's daily doodle. If that does happen, then we'd have hidden bullish divergence on the daily, and I'd be looking for another move back up to the daily high and probably beyond over time as well. Anything on daily Stokes? Do we see anything right here? Not necessarily, although I do identify a trend line from way fucking downtown. This is going all the way back to coronavirus dump times in February, March of literally 1 year ago. That's connected with your lows of September, right around $10,000 on that accumulation phase, and then more recently in late January on this low in $30,000. So at some point that will come into contact once again, but we are pretty damn below it. So with that in mind, I do want to point that out, but it's just not relevant for what we're looking at right now, unless you're looking for this to come all the way down and test that region, of which that would probably imply price action back down to like $35,000. Anyways, Squiggly Wiggins says, I heard Satoshi Nakamoto is selling all his Bitcoin from a friend of his and going from a friend of his. What? Really? You know him? And going to take Bitcoin down to $209. Should I wait to buy until then? Yes. No, but don't. Why stop there, man? Why stop there? How about all the way down at $0? You can buy fucking zero with Peter Schiff, man. It's going to be great. I think that's a joke comment, but you can never be too sure on the interwebs when you're being trolled or not. I mean, maybe he does know something. Maybe Satoshi Nakamoto is really alive. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Smash that like button. Also smash your fucking face into your keyboard. No, don't do that, man. It's all good. Anyways, yes. So, we do see a lot of these things potentially in progress here. So I do just kind of want to present that case, but again, at the end of the day, all of these things will take time naturally. So that's why I'm saying, generally speaking, if you are that more long-term minded person, you're probably looking for a little bit of sideways here. I don't think that you're going to get a fucking V bottom out of this shit and just charge on to new all-time highs like today or tomorrow. More likely that it takes a little bit of time going sideways, and I would look at that as overall good, overall constructive. And of course there are downside continuation points in mind as well, but that would be again, the $45,000 level on a daily or 44.4 on a 4 hour. As long as those things hold, we have massive ranges, yes, but but hey, does still look overall okay. Even though short term, I would be looking for this one to come back down. Oh, how is Raffle Coin doing? I don't know. It might not be doing as well as LOL Coin. Fuck. How is piece of shit coin doing? Don't know. Still smelly as fuck, actually. Anyways, okay, so we got through all of this. Let's go check out Caretaker Ranges over here. I'm curious what he's saying about this one. This is an hourly showing, about 54 to the upside. Versus actually 42.5 to the downside. No, I'd be disagreeing with that one. I'm right. Caretaker's wrong. Fuck you, Caretaker. Just kidding, man. Just kidding. I love Caretaker. He's the best. But yes, looking at this right here, it essentially is just it's adjusting sideways here as well, because these ranges are fucking massive, and it is a bit of a consolidation for what it's worth right now. This one's actually just in a bull zone consolidation, but again, I think Bitcoin takes its time here, to be honest with you. What I want to see is I want to see HVP come way the fuck down. I want to see it come down, especially below 50, preferably below 20. That's when I do think that Bitcoin can have a little bit of a breakout out of that medium-term time frame range. Anyways, what else do we want to check out? Traditional markets really quick. Yeah, let's go check them out. NASDAQ having a nice red dildo party yesterday, and pretty nasty there. Jesus Christ, man. I believe we did look at a target towards $13,000 yesterday. That target didn't just get met; it got absolutely fucking shitted on. Is what happened there. It got absolutely blown through. Jesus, man, that is dastardly. I would consider this a test of the weekly 21 exponential average right here. So I would actually even consider that the bearish divergence on your weekly. The easy part of that's played out. The problem is, do we get further continuation on top of that? If I'm looking at SPY futures, I don't think so. Actually, SPY futures still somewhat bullish to me. However, NASDAQ is a bit different. So I am split on this one. And I think in this portion of the market, in this portion of the market, I'm really not so I'm really not so gung-ho to make a greater call here, even though I fucking hate that term. But Actually, both of them are looking pretty damn bad. It's more likely that they first bounce here, yes, but coming into next week, this is starting to present some more long-term bearish cases. I think I'd still hold off on saying that is fully confirmed, though. I need to see this week's closure. For now, I do think it's a lot more likely to bounce off a region like this, and then if it wants to have a continuation, likely happens next week, but I do think that the fun, at least for this week, is likely over. Let's go down to like a very low time frame. Short-term, very short-term, very fucking shitty. Very, 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 very shitty. Probably back down to 12.9 region, but I'd be looking for a bounce there. So yes, is that still playing off the weekly levels? Yes, actually, that's exactly where the 21 exponential average is on the weekly. So yeah, short term down on this one would be the only thing that I feel comfortable saying. Let's see if SPY futures agree. Yeah, they do agree. Momentum also is turning down. Price action put in a lower high. We even have a nice trend line coming in from way downtown in 15th of February. Oh, it's like a Valentine's Day go fuck yourself. It's like the Valentine's Day red dildo of happiness, right? And also hidden bearish divergence on the high as well. So 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. And yeah, I'd be looking for this one to come back down short term. 38.50 for SPY, and NASDAQ would be 12.9-ish region, somewhere around there, give or take a few bucks. I think it would also be a good idea to check out some of our other indices here. I'm curious where's my Dow Jones? Where's my Indus? Where are you little fuckers? There, I found them. Hey, Dow Jones was up yesterday. Wow. Oh, we have rotations. Oh, this is rotations here. This is very obviously rotations. Yeah, perhaps I do hold off on being bearish on the other ones. Very unlikely that we'd see Dow Jones be bullish here, which it very obviously is, versus the other two being bearish. We just don't see that too often. What about the other market indices? I'll get to that in just a second. Mr. Andres Ruval, 1 second, my friend. Nikkei 225. Yeah, looking for a little more downside action there. 29,350-ish region. What about DAX? How did they end the day yesterday? On a bit of an up note, actually. Still kind of keeping it up, keeping it nice and strong. World markets, yeah, I think I'd actually hold off on saying much more than that. Short term does look down for most of them, though, especially on futures. But I think I'd hold off on saying anything more than short term. I'd probably have to wait for the weekly closure here in order to say anything more. But I do, the short term does seem pretty damn clear. They do want to have another test, pretty much of the lows. Looking at Ethereum really quick, because I'm sure someone's going to ask about that, and then we'll get into a little bit of comments, and then probably call it a day. Where is my Ethereum? Oh, I see that Dixie's almost down at our $90 target from yesterday. Nice one. But where's my damn Ethereum charts? There they are. Found you, shitty Ethereum. Sorry, just kidding. Ethereum's great. Ethereum's amazing. It's the future technology. It is going to be amazing. You will be rich by buying Ethereum. It's great. That's what you're supposed to say. It's like the same thing with coronavirus. Sorry, can't help myself, man. Can't help myself. But yeah, Ethereum. Not as strong as Bitcoin here. However, we do see the same sort of hidden bullish divergence possibly present. We do see significantly lower lows on RSI right here, with potentially a higher low being put in place. And if it is going to follow Bitcoin, it very likely does do the same thing. In this case, we should go down to the lower term time frame, see if it agrees with Bitcoin, and actually it does. Yes. Very interesting here. I'd actually be looking for a bit of a short-term move back up to about 1715 region. I do like this move back above the 200 simple and 200 exponential average. Yeah, short term I'd actually be looking for some upside action here. Very, very interesting, actually. Yeah, Ethereum's actually a little more short-term time frame, obviously more bullish than Bitcoin. Yeah, 3 hour back up to about 1700-ish region. It's kind of where I'd be looking towards, and then probably a bit of a pushback right there. But when I go down to the very low term time, so like the 2 and 1 hour, we actually do see the same sort of issues as Bitcoin. So this one actually does look a little bit more short term, like extremely short term, maybe bullishly inclined towards somewhere around 1700-ish region. However, I would be looking for pushback around that level, as we do see several divergences building up right here. Hourly has hidden bearish divergence as long as it's below essentially $1,800. So that's not going to be very helpful, as that's going to be a lot of waiting. But what does that likely align with? A little bit more of a short term try to the upside here, and then probably does get pushed back down, and similar to Bitcoin, reaccumulates, I'd imagine. Hey, thanks for that, Squiggy Wiggins. Hey, how'd you get that unicorn emoticon? That's kind of cool. Elsa would like that. Crowniverse says hi. Give me hidden bulls. Give me those hidden bulls. Oh boy, you said I said the very naughty C word there. YouTube doesn't like C words. Both the C and then the one for when you call it to a girl, or if you're in Australia or England, you call it to your friends. I don't get that one. And the other one is more of like I don't know. Probably shouldn't even say, man, they really don't like that one, though. They really don't like that one. But this video is going to get blocked anyways because I did use someone else's tunes today. So hopefully they just take away the ad revenue. But we'll see. We'll see. You never know what YouTube wants to do. Elsa would like that. Yeah. Hey, what the fuck? Are those all unicorn emote? They are. Oh, holy shit. That's pretty cool. How would you read energy transfer, ET? Is this a crypto or a stock? Okay, okay, so this is a real stock. All right, so we have something legitimate here. I look at this as potentially a long-term reversal here. This is a very good move. Now long term, this is a shitty chart, so I'd probably be looking to sell into this over time, but I guess I'd speak more towards the macro. But as far as the daily is concerned, I'd be looking for this one to pop back up a little bit more towards $8.50 over time. And then I'd probably be looking for the next major high around $8.50, somewhere right around here. This is also in line with the 377 exponential average. You can see that this would still be, you know, at that point, still a bit of a lower high right there as well. If we pull this baby all the way back out, I'm curious what the long-term downtrend would be like. Typically, I don't really care for diagonals, but it is interesting to see where these things sort of come around because, as you can see, this would also be constructing a very long-term, very nasty, and very bearish descending triangle on the lows, which is exactly what you want to see on your long-term holds. You have made me rich. $69. Fuck yeah, man. That's awesome. That look, man. I do appreciate that, and it really does help out my ego with like thinking that thinking I'm doing something okay. But hey, man, at the end of the day, you got to give credit to yourself, man. I ain't making your trades for you. I'm making your trades for you. And here's the thing, I can put out a video and different people will have different interpretations of it, right? I really was enlightened by just maybe it's my own fault for not being like perfect with my expressions. But I started reading the comments, and basically some people would say, Krown, you're like in the same fucking video. Some people would say, Krown, you're too bullish, and Krown, you're too bearish. And it's like, it's like they're listening to the same fucking video, I'd imagine, or at least it has to be because I didn't make two videos in the same day, and it's like two completely different analyses on it. So it's at the end of the day, man, that shows that everyone kind of has a different experience as to how they watch content, just in general, not just mine, but any content, and that means that something else is going on. Obviously, you're playing a direct part in that, more so than myself. MicroStrategy took a dump. What's up, MP Hanger? Let's check it out. Oh wow, big old dumpola. Hey, and there you go, man. I was completely wrong on this one. I was actually looking for this one to pop back up somewhere around like $850 to $900 region. So there you go. There we go. Bring the ego back in check. Completely wrong on this one, which is good. well, it's not good, but it's good. It's good to have a little bit else going on. Anyways, the good news is that I don't trade this thing, so it doesn't matter to me to begin with. Anyways, let's see what this one looks like on the long term. I do think that we hit a long-term level here by the nature of it. I mean, that $1,000 region was yes. Yep, there you go. Look at this right here. This was your breakaway reversal in the year 2000. This is literally more than 20 years ago, 21 years ago almost. This was, 20th of March in the year 2000. The year 2000. That's pretty much where we sold off on this. Oh my God, almost to the T there too. Pretty damn good. So yeah, I'd be looking for this one to trade sideways and down for a while. Probably does gun for $500 over time. This is very obviously reversal right here. Short term though, does it bounce? Probably yes. Seeing that it's hitting the weekly 10 and also this kind of structural support right here too. Probably does bounce back up. I mean, this one can play quite volatilely, just like Bitcoin. Could even pop back up to like $800 or $850. But I do think that the party's over here for a little bit of time. Stinky Linky, yeah, we can look at that one. I got 2773 right here. Looks very similar to Bitcoin. Let's see, what would be the same sort of ranges here? I believe it would be this area right here, right around just above $29 to the upside versus, to the downside is a lot easier, about 23.5. How does it look like on a daily though? Very, very similar to Bitcoin, but not as strong as it's consolidating between the 55 and the 21 right there. Look at that wick action. That is, again, another reason why I just really prefer not to trade altcoins. I'm not trying to like moralize or be your dad here, but I don't see the, I mean, yes, this is technically opportunity in someone's eyes, but at the end of the day, like if you're trading this, it's going to make managing positions extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. What does the weekly still look like? Weekly still okay, I guess, although bearish divergences will be forming with any sort of a closure like this. So I'd probably hold off on judging this one until end of week. But if we do see bearish divergence confirmed on the weekly plus weekly Stokes crossing down, I'd look at that as you know, as at the very least likely to create a sideways range between about $30 and $20, and probably works its way down over time as well. But of course, you know, a lot of days left between now and the end of the week, and likely Bitcoin, you know, is going to signal off something first before that anyways. Okay, cool. All right, let me just make sure that I actually answered as much of the super chats as I got. Looks like actually I can't even see all of them now. I only see squiggly Wiccans there. Can you look at Sir BTC? Sir BTC. I'm looking at Sir right now. Sir Elsa over there. Jesus Christ. You are Sir SXP. Okay, let's see. What is this? We got some more shitty cryptocurrencies, I'm guessing, seeing as it's all over Binance. Let's see. Well, maybe I should hold off on judging it first. Oh, we have a very shitty chart. Wow, this is going straight to the fucking shitcoin jail, baby. Jesus, man. What the fuck? You know you don't have to trade things like this. This is little garbage on a chart. This one's coming back down, baby. Oh, we're going for the full retrace. It's about to go. Piece of shit. Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that. Big wick up yesterday. So we actually did hit around the 65% level, but I think this one's going to pop back up again. I'm sure people are going to call this the head and shoulders. Oh, you will be oh so surprised. Head and shoulders. Very unlikely here. Very unlikely. Let's see. Ophir says BNT. Here's another $5. Thanks, man. Let's see. BNT. What is this? Oh, no, more shitty cryptocurrencies. Let's see. Do you want it versus? Oh, this is Bancor. This is gonna be good. This one's back from like 2017. Oh, this is gonna be really fucking good. Let's make sure that we get an exchange that actually has the history there. Oh, it's on HitBTC, my favorite shitcoin exchange. Where's going to have the probably BitFINEX is going to have the most history on this one, if I had to guess, because this one was actually, you know, popular back in 2017. It appears we have one of those shitty charts in front of our faces again. What is the obsession with shit like this? Sir, you don't have to trade this. You don't have to do this to yourself. Even just, I mean, this one's going to be trending to the downside for a long time. It could still have some short-term up, yes. Short-term up, maybe even back up to like 15,000 Satoshis, but that's going to be likely a very obvious sell. Looks bad, man. Is going to get a golden cross pretty damn soon. So yeah, short-term out, actually look for this move to continue to the upside. But this one's bearish as fuck as long as it's below this prior high, 21,600-ish region. And seeing as this one's never known what an uptrend is on a weekly since its inception in 2017, I don't think that that's going to change around anytime soon. It was even around in 2017 and didn't get to join the shitcoin rally. Like that was when everything fucking rallied. I'm guessing it was this area right here, but even then people just sold into it. Didn't even make new all-time highs. Nasty, man. All right, looks like we're getting that short-term downside move on Bitcoin right now. Oh my God, the TA hocus pocus, is that shit actually working? It can't be. It can't be. No, it looks like we are going to play with that downside move in the short term. So I do like that. I do think it comes down a little bit more here. And then if about $48,000 does break, I'd be looking for another test back down somewhere around about 46. But again, do not confuse that with like a breakdown of the overall structure. This is only relevant to the short term from what I'm talking about right now. Okay, Kevin fucking one says KSM log chart is so damn clean. Are you a fan? What am I getting myself into here? What could this be? Okay, you said long-term down. Okay, it's on Kraken. It can't be that bad. Kraken's regulated. Pretty good, actually. Yeah, pretty damn good. But is this the full history of this? Because that is Kusama coin. Oh, it's on KuCoin too. You know it's fucking good. Yeah, it's pretty good chart. Actually, one of the best charts that we've seen today, to be fair. In a long-term uptrend, compare that with what we just saw in that long-term downtrend. A lot more impressive, a lot more inspiring, and yeah, I'd still be bullish on this one. This one is in a blue sky breakout and price discovery, and I'd look for it to continue to make new all-time highs over the next few months. Actually, yeah, I would say that I guess I'm a fan. Yeah, and this is very obviously reaccumulation right here too. Let's see what else we got. How do you feel about Cardano in the short and long term? Yeah, we can look at it, I guess. I'm guessing you want to look at it versus Bitcoin, or you didn't put in a pair there, but I'm just gonna default to Bitcoin in this case. Very, very good here. So as I have been a pretty damn big bear on Cardano, I've been a pretty damn big bear on Cardano ever since this area right here. And while I didn't catch the ultimate low, I did catch this area right here. This is where we started to get bullish on this one, and now this one's just continuing to prove itself. So contrary to what we saw on that whatever the fuck that chart was a couple charts ago, that was just absolutely dastardly to the downside. This one is proving itself here. It is in a weekly uptrend now, and I would be looking for this one to long term work its way towards 3,000 satoshis and maybe even beyond there. Short term, however, you asked about. Let's see what the 4 hour says. Even the short term is kind of flagging out here. It looks like reaccumulation. Yes, it could have a short term move back down to about 1,800-ish satoshis, but as long as it's above 1,800, this is bullish. Below 1,800, yeah, you do have a little bit of problems. Probably would target a move back down to like 1,500 at that point, but this is this is looking like classic reaccumulation right here. So I would actually be respectful of this, and I'd probably be bullish on most time frames. Anyways, Bitcoin coming down a little bit more. Let's see if we get our targets hit on this one, or how far did we get down thus far? 49.6. Yeah, a little bit more still, I think. Elrond analysis. Elrond, like from the Lord of the Rings. He's an elf. He's a very powerful elf, actually, too. I think he makes swords and shit. So I've actually, you want to know something funny? I've actually tried to buy the sword from Lord of the Rings. It's called Anduril, and it's the Sword of Kings. But it's actually very difficult to get weapons in Finland. They don't like that. So fair enough. Anyways, yeah, again, another long-term uptrend chart, but in the short term, is it coming back down? Short term, it actually does look, or sorry, medium term, it looks like it's some downside. Short term probably does pop back up here. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised to see the 4 hour pop back up towards maybe like 2,900 satoshis. But I am a little bit skeptical of this one on like the daily. I do think that it could very easily sell back off. However, long term, it actually is good. I mean, this one's in an uptrend for a while now. As long as it's above about 1,300 satoshis, which is not very helpful. I know, but I just want to kind of put in perspective that this one has, has some airtime to the downside if it wants, and it does have bearish divergence confirmed here as well. So that's why I do look at this as, long term probably does come down, but I would be looking at that as an opportunity just because this one has been, well, more or less good in comparison to a lot of the shitcoins that we have looked at, which are not good. They are more bad. Elrond, powerful elf, and also powerful chart right here, actually. But again, extremely short-term timeframes. 4 hour probably does pop back up, maybe around 3,000 satoshis. Daily and weekly looks like they want to come down a little bit, but I would be looking at anywhere around anywhere around this range, about 1,600 to 1,500 satoshis as a major opportunity long term. Probably going to take its time though. CRMD, massive reversal. What is this? CRMD. Man, I really want that sword. I really fucking want that. Anyways, yes, it does look like it's in a reversal. Yes, golden cross on the weekly. Let's see what this one looks like very long term. Actually, is this a real stock too? Yeah, it is. It is. Yes, I would say so. Yes, absolutely. Weekly, I'd be looking for a move back up north of like 21.5 to 22 bucks. And this one, the reversal does look real. Golden cross alongside, yes, alongside a higher high on the weekly. That's very, 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 very good on increasing volume. All those three things together are all I need to see. I'd be bullish on this one long term. Short term, medium term, I don't think that you really care about that because you're talking about a mass reversal, so I won't talk about it. Anyways, what else we got? DeFi chain. What is that a thing? DFI. Can we just look at this? DFI BTC, I guess. Would that be it? Oh, Bittrex and KuCoin. All right, this one's gonna be good. Let's check this out. Ku fucking coin. Ku fucking coin. How could you name your fucking exchange KuCoin? It's like someone's Cuckoo coin. Looks great, man. Looks fucking great. Take them away, boys. We got a shitcoin chart on the loose again. We got people buying this thing thinking that it's actually going to do something in its life. Let's see it. Let's see what it looks like on Bittrex. And wait, it looks quite different on Bittrex. But you know what? A shitcoin is always going to be a shitcoin. But hold on. Let's actually dial this one in. This is going back to 20th of October, so this one's relatively new. Wait a second. Do we have to recall the shitcoin, please? I need to check this out because that ICO dump is this around the same area? No. Oh, so this is the inaccurate chart. Okay, fair enough. I stand corrected. No, Bittrex is correct on this one. I'll be looking for this one to pop back up short term to like 7,400 satoshis. Yeah, I'd be looking for a short-term pop back up there. After that, I'm not so sure though. I'm not so sure I'd be like long-term bullish on this thing. 4 hours of death cross though, it's wrecked. Probably does sell into that a little bit. So short-term up, however, long-term probably still rather shitty, I'd imagine. Anyways, can you check out Ocean? Sure. Is this another crypto? Man, damn cryptos today. Cryptos be strong. Okay, Ocean on Binance. This one's going back into the Ocean. Oh, this one definitely requires. There we go. Get him away, bam. No, this is garbage. Again, another straight down chart over a long period of time. I do not understand the obsession with this. I really do not. I mean, you don't need a fucking trend line there to show you that that is lower highs over a very long period of time, going all the way back to, well, all the way back to about a year ago. Anyways, short term, very bearish here as well. I'll be looking for this one to come back down towards about 1500. Short term, medium term, probably does bounce there and then continuation implied below there. And what else do we got? Nikkei, we already looked at that one. Well, we can look at it really quick. Let's see. Where's my Nikkei 225? Hey, where are you? There you are. It's hidden between my two American markets. Okay, so you said specifically on a weekly. No, I'm looking at a daily right now. Short term, I would be looking for this one to come back down to about 29,300-ish region. Long term, is it a real reversal? I would be skeptical to say that when it's in price discovery, right? Oh no, it's not in price discovery. Okay, apologies, I stand corrected. But it's not really at any sort of major macro level. So I am a little bit more pre-inclined to say that short term, yes, would be down, but I do think that it bounces off that region. Okay, cool. Let's see. Did I miss anything else, or is it time to go? What time is it actually? Oh, we are 1 hour into this. Okay, sweet. Did I miss anything? All right. Okay, BQX Voyager is looking promising. BQX, is that the Superman coin from like 3 years ago? Oh wait, no, that's BQZ. Did they rename themselves again? Oh yeah, it is Ethos. Yeah, this is a Superman coin, man. Do you want to do some Superman analysis? We can do some Superman analysis. Let's look at it. BQX versus Bitcoin here. I imagine this thing's going to be an absolute. Well, this is a reversal. Be fair. Yeah, this one probably does rally. Probably does rally back up to like 19,000 satoshis, not 1900, but 19,000 satoshis on the weekly. On the daily, looks like a clear uptrend. Yes, actually, short-term, medium-term, and long-term both good, or all good, I guess. What else did I miss? Jesus, man. Krown, check out Engine Coin, big gamer. I'm a big gamer too, man, but what does Engine Coin have to do with gaming? Maybe I'm probably just ignorant to the fact. If you're looking at it versus, okay, so here's actually what I would ask, because if you're not going to provide a pair for it, I'm going to default to the Bitcoin pairing right now just because Bitcoin's in a more macro uptrend, vice versa for a downtrend, obviously. But unless if you otherwise specify, I'm just going to look at the Bitcoin pairing because most often that's going to be the only thing that they trade against anyways. For ENJ, I'd be bearish on this one, man. This one will confirm downside continuation with any sort of move below about 860 satoshis, which we kind of already got yesterday, and then I'd be looking for a move all the way back down around the prior low, about 520 satoshis ish region. Again, not this is a chart of a pump and dump here. Anytime that you see this where it just pumps up, very aggressively and then dumps down pretty much soon after, that's your clear signal. There is very little difference between this chart and say, a chart that a lot of people like to pick on for good reason, XRP, right? I mean, pumps it up, dumps it all the way back down. These are quite literal pump and dumps. Same thing with the one true Bitcoin, this one, doggy coin, right? It's the same fucking thing. This is quite literally a pump and dump, and it's the same thing that's happening right here too. So yeah, I would say that it's probably a bit of one of those pumping phases, but likely does do what it always does. Do you study any on-chain metrics, whale wallets, glassnode, sentiment, money flows? Okay, so yes and no. Well, the answer is yes. But I think that you're asking that question with reference to like a day trader, which I would then say no, it's not really relevant to me as a day trader. But when I am thinking about long-term investments, right? When I'm thinking about long-term trades, when I'm thinking about long-term holds, I do think that it plays into it. One of the guys in the Discord, Mr. Craig, has broadened up this one chart. I think it's from Glassnode that shows the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges, and that data is very compelling the more that I look into it, because the more coins that come off exchanges, the more and more presumably hodlers we do have within this market. And well, that essentially means less supply that's on the chopping block for actual trading, which means that well, theoretically speaking, would be in a blue sky breakout territory like we're looking at right now, more inclined to continue with that sort of emotion, especially as that trend continues. And by the way, I should have explained that what's been happening ever since about, I think it was 2019, is we've seen one of the most aggressive, or the most aggressive decline in coins on exchanges since then, and that has, well, essentially marked off one of the greatest phases of accumulation in Bitcoin history from about 2018 to 2019, right? Or I guess 2019 to 2020, sorry. Of which we're seeing the results of right now on this move, on this fucking face melting move from about 10,000 to 60,000 bucks. I mean, that's pretty fucking impressive. So I do think it's certainly very compelling, but as a day trader, do I put a lot of weight on that? No, I don't. It's just not really relevant for like a move on a 4-hour time frame. It's more relevant for a move on like a daily at the very least, or at the very minimum, but preferably like a weekly, right? We're looking at very long-term price action there. Hey man, can you check out SL1? This is silver, I'm guessing. Yep, silver futures. You want to look at it on Moscow Exchange. COMEX, huh? Looks like I don't have COMEX here. Let me see that I'm actually doing the one that you want. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see COMEX as an exchange here. If you want to look at a different exchange, we can do that, or we can just look at straight up silver is what I think you want to look at, or we could just look at silver ETF. They're all going to trade together basically. They're all going to trade together. So like if you're bullish on silver ETF, you're going to be bullish on spot silver pretty much, and silver futures. And I would be long-term bullish on this one actually. This is a clear accumulation phase right here. Here's your kind of flag out, getting ready for the next markup. So long-term, I would be bullish on this one. Short-term, Short-term might come back down to 24 and a half, 24 and 3/4, but the long-term analysis does say that that is an opportunity, and this is very clearly an ascending triangle right here as well. So that is reaccumulation. The question is, when does it actually break? And I'd say it'd be considered broken with any sort of a closure back above about 26.5 bucks, preferably on a daily. Let's see. Hey, thanks for that, Steph. What else did I miss right here? Microsoft. Oh, Microsoft. Yeah, I love looking at Microsoft. This one was actually my baby when I was trading traditional markets. This was one of my favorite ones to trade because it was nice and slow for me, and I need that. You think you're a badass until you try to be a fucking trader, huh? I'm happy to admit it, man. I liked it because it moved slowly. Now, is it moving slowly anymore? No. When I traded this thing, this is fucking crazy to me. When I traded this thing, it was back here in like 2013, and I saw it go from about 30s, the $30 marker to about the $100 marker in 2017, 2018. Just straight fucking up, man. And that's why I liked it. just keep on selling the covered call. just keep on doing the covered call, and all good. Nice to do in just straight up markets like that. Anyways, again, I wasn't given a time frame on this one, so I'm just going to default to the daily and weekly in this case. I'd be looking for a bounce here, probably back up on the daily to about 137 and 3/4. Weekly does have some signals of a potential reversal in progress. We do see weekly RSI is going to be creating some divergences, but that is not confirmed just yet. I'd hold off on the weekly here because realistically, it's the monthly now, as we are in our last week of the month for trading. I'm not really bearish on the monthly as it is. Hidden bullish divergence was actually just initiated confirmed on 2 months ago. I'd still be looking for this one to play out actually, and probably make new all-time highs. And then you're going to get your third stab of divergence right here. That's typically when your mega rallies are over. So I do think that it has another up phase most likely. And then, which would imply obviously new all-time highs. Then your divergence play probably plays out after getting the third, maybe even fourth stab, because this is kind of a generational, maybe not even generational, but like a century-long just up phase, basically. Pretty damn impressive, man. Anyways, do you think alts will gain US dollar or sats while Bitcoin ranges? I think, well, versus US dollar, they're going to do whatever Bitcoin does. So they'll probably play alongside the range. The question is how well do they play on that? And I think that'd be better represented by the Bitcoin dominance chart. Or we could just look at Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, as that does seem to be a pretty damn good indication of the general market. And short term, I'd actually be looking for this one to pop back up here. Short term, we did hit the 200 simple and 200 exponential average from yesterday, yesterday's analysis, but even severely below there. So Jesus Christ, again, another reason why I do not like trading alts. Long term, though, do I think that this one's coming up or down? Long term, this one does look a little more downside imposed to me, just because this one is starting to really dig into the 200 exponential average. Then again, I look at the monthly. Do I really fall into that? I mean, we do see momentum turning down. I think a healthy amount of I don't know is the proper answer here. I don't have a strong opinion on it. My strong opinion is on Bitcoin dominance chart, which I would look for a weekly reversal there. Short term, however, I think is what you were specifically asking, and short term I'd be looking for this one to pop back up. So a little bit of short term upside, with likely downside long term implied. But I would want to come back to that one next week. Hey, what's up? What's up, Alex Switch? There he is, our lovely moderator here. Which moderators do we have around right now? We got Alex. We got Mr. Nimbo. Is Caretaker here? Where's Caretaker? Sebastian. Thanks for that, Sebastian. Holy shit, man. We have Elsa here too. Yeah, she's a moderator. She's watching you. Elsa's watching you right now. Be good. Anyways, IBM. Just kidding. Elsa is like the queen of fucking chaos. IBM. Let's check it out. Short term. Well, hold on. Let's go to weekly first. Well, as you can see, we have a shitty chart. We have a long-term downtrend here. I don't really have any reason to believe that this downtrend's anytime soon. I'd be looking for this one to come back down towards about 111.5 over the next few weeks. Do we have any divergences here to be aware of? Not really. Kind of, but not really. Just sideways and down, man. This one's kind of going into like the dead heartbeat. Monthly is a lot more conclusive. Monthly is a clear rejection right here. Yeah, I'd be looking for this one to work its way back down to the low 100s over the next few months, probably like 110-ish region, and then come back to it after that. If it does get a death cross on the monthly, then we can extend those targets severely lower. But for now, just short-term and medium-term downside implied. Anyways, I think this is going to be a good place to leave off this video. I think I'll do a quick wrap up on Bitcoin and then we'll send this one off. So let's go back on over here for Bitcoin and let me just make sure that I got everything. I think I did get everything. Feel free to yell in my face if I did not, but there we go. Okay, cool. All right, so we want this chart. Do we even want to look at the secondary charts today? I actually don't think it's too warranted here today, except well, yes, we do want to know the ADX and DMI. So let's wrap this bitch up, sirs and zers. And she's and he's. Bitcoin on the secondary charts does have a chance to once again put on a daily ADX DMI signal, as both are below the threshold right now, alongside ADX of course as well. So I do first and foremost look at this as potentially a bullish reset. However, the next signal likely does get this one right, meaning that if we do see either the DMI plus or the DMI minus get above the threshold, I look at that as likely to generate the next move on the greater time frame range. So that would mean if we do get the DMI minus dominant, I would be looking for a break of $45,000 and start to target moves much lower towards 39 or 40,000 bucks, which at that price point is more, I think around a 15% move. Anyways, on top of that, we do see on our shorter term time frame charts, as our higher term time frame charts are not too relevant right now, that we do have some very obvious ranges. The same ranges that we spoke about yesterday, 51,000 bucks to the upside versus about $45,000 to the downside. Short term can cut it about to the middle, right around 48,000 bucks. So I do look at that as actionable. And in the very short term time frames, we do see that the 4, 3, 2, and 1 hour all kind of bifurcated right now, which typically to me does mean that we're going to see a range in activity. And seeing as we did just test the top side of the short term, medium term time frame range, I would be looking for this one to come back down a little bit. Now at the start of this video, I think things were trading around 51,000 bucks, now coming down to about 49. So we're seeing a little bit of that move play out. I do think that it has a little bit more in the short term to come down here, somewhere around about 48,000 bucks to 48,500-ish region. If that area does start to break on a buy hourly, I would extend that move down towards around the low of yesterday, about 46,500 bucks. Again, that does not imply an actual breakdown on this. And as long as Bitcoin is above 45,000 bucks on a daily or 44,400 on a 4 hour, I look at this as very likely reaccumulation. A reaccumulation phase and major opportunities within this region right here. Of course, that does imply that it does change again with a 4 hour closure below 44,400 or a daily closure below 45,000 bucks, and that would imply targets down towards about the $39,000 region, in line with this area right here on the daily. I think it is, yeah, right around, I don't know, somewhere right around here. Also one of our fibs from the prior consolidation at the $40,000 to $30,000 region, although not so important right now. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that if that condition is met, yes, I would look for a significant continuation of the downside, and we can maybe even talk about a macro move there. But for now, I do look at this as more or less likely to range a little bit sideways here, test both the top side and the downside, of which we just tested the top side. So probably now time to test the downside, and then a break above the top side of the medium term range here would imply move likely back up to about 54,000 bucks. Keep in mind though that the higher term timeframes and the medium term timeframes are still very much, I guess, more in a bullish posturing, kind of neutral to bullish posturing, but we do have 12-hour, which could be confirming hidden bullish divergence as soon as the next closure. That would be confirmed with any sort of a closure, basically above 51,000 bucks, certainly, which would imply a move back up to about 54. I would even say that that's probably confirmed with a closure above 50,000 bucks as well. 51,000 is a lot more obvious. 50,000 is a little bit less obvious, but I do think that it would work in this particular case, especially considering that the daily it's consolidating above the 21, at least for now. So with all of that in mind, the main message that I have is, to me, it seems like this BitFINEX Tether situation is more or less an opportunity. Again, as long as $45,000 does hold, so there are some very nice and obvious pivots right there. The next thing I want to see, if that area is indeed going to hold, is I actually want to see a short-term downside move, followed by all the lower-term timeframes starting to get on the same side, of which we do see, by the way, this trend line on the 4-hour Stokes here getting tested. This is coming in all the way back from late January, which was these lows in the $30,000 region right here. And that would likely, again, align with the reaccumulation theory, again, supported by the open interest and funding rates, which have essentially lost significantly on both, actually. So it's essentially suggesting that we do see that bulls are taking profits here. Now, if this is going to turn out to be full-on bearish, what we'd expect to see is, if $45,000 does break, you'd expect to see open interest shoot up. And when I say shoot up, I mean at least $500 million, preferably $1 billion. If you see that happen, we are in a longer-term reversal here, and I would be looking for moves down below $40,000, and for Bitcoin to, play that for a while. Anyways, that is still very much far away, but I do want to lay out criteria for that, because at the end of the day, this is all a game of statistics, and anything can happen, obviously. So we should have plans for what to do if certain criteria is met. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It's the first thing from financial advice. And with that said, I do want to wish you the best and the happiest on this nice little Wednesday hump day. It's been fun doing these live streams again. Take care and see you soon.